Guys, this is it, our official prediction show, the only prediction show that matters. Loz versus Liz. Who's going to get it right? World's Strongest Man 2021. Liz, everyone's doing prediction shows now, but this is the only one that matters. So let's start us off with Group 1. Who's going through? Who's doing well? I know you've been analysing the hell out of this.
Can we lay some ground rules first, please? Okay.
Ground rules. There's no ground rules for predictions.
How have you done your predictions this year?
I have done my predictions based on my incredible knowledge of Strongman and the thought process that goes on in my head.
Okay. See, that's what I usually do. But I've not been doing so well these last few competitions. So this time
Liz
I've
has
taken
been over-analysing
a
everything.
scientific approach. So first off, for my hypotheses, I had to work on some basic assumptions.
I've seen loads of people do this. They over-analyse.
Do you know what though? It's really weird. So what I've done, I've taken each athlete and the events that they're going to do, who they're up against.
You've come up with your own little scoring system.
Yeah, I have. How they've done in these events in recent competitions, and I've placed them for every event. Now, what's really, really interesting is that how it's worked out is not what I would have chosen. So, and like some of it makes me sad because, I wouldn't have chosen that person. And I'm not going to say who. But it's really interesting. I'm going to go with this. I'm committed to this now because I spent hours doing it last night. So this is what I'm going with.
I think the reason I don't go with that kind of approach is because I've competed so many times.
I know.
And you'll have in your own head how you think things are going to go, and you think, right, if I do how I can on this, I'm going to play somewhere around here. And then sometimes you get to competition and just the shit hits the fan.
I know.
Things go wrong. You do badly on your best event. You might do really good on your worst event. You just don't know for sure. So I don't like to overanalyze.
No.
Although I try and kind of use a lot of kind of, logic in terms of who normally wins certain types of events.
Yeah, of course.
Who performs well at World's Strongest Man or other shows when we're doing different predictions. Because you get someone like Shivlikov. Shivlikov is an amazing strongman. Notoriously not done that well at World's Strongest Man. Doesn't like the slower, longer formats. Someone like Terry Hollands doesn't always do that great in the one-day shows. But Terry's really good at that slow, longer format. And Tom Stoltman's really good in that kind of format as well. So there's some of the things that kind of I process in my head. I don't just go on, who placed here in the Champions League in 2014 or something like that.
Are you mocking me?
Well, I know what you've been looking at.
I went deep.
She went real deep. Anyway, let's get on with Group 1. We know the events now. We're going to give you our predictions for each group.
So group 1 then, it's a squat group. So every group has mostly the same events. It's 6 events this year, isn't it?
6 events in the heats.
So which I much prefer. They've either got the squat or the deadlift, and they've either got the train pull or the fingers finger. This group has squat and fingers finger.
Interesting.
And the athletes are now up on the screen, hopefully. So we've got Maxime Boudreau, Graham Hicks, Travis Altmaier, Brian Shaw and Ivers Schmuckstelis.
Tough group.
Really
very tough group.
Now, I am seeing some shit online about Brian not even qualifying out of the groups. And I think to myself, okay, Brian's not had the best couple of years, but he has never struggled to get out of his group at Worlds. These are really good events for him. We know he's training hard. And, if he's in the stone off, I don't see anyone beating him on that heavy stone for reps. I can't see Brian coming 4th in the group.
No chance.
I just don't see it.
Brian's won his group for God knows how many years in a row. He's never even had to be in the stone off.
No, never.
And if he is in the stone off, who's going to beat him on stones? You look at just the whole competition. Who could beat Brian at stones? There's very few people in the world. Yeah, but Tom's not in his group.
No.
Tom could beat everyone. How many people really could beat Brian, particularly when it comes to a heavy stone for reps, which is what it'll come down to at the end. It's not even, you can get lucky and beat him on a sprint. You're going to have to outlift him on the heaviest stone. And I can't see anyone in any group other than maybe Tom at World's Strongest Man that could beat him on that. Travis was a great stone lifter. Travis is past his best, and I hope he proves me wrong because I'm so happy to see Travis back, but I cannot see him challenging for a spot in the final in this group.
Graham on stones?
Graham is good at stones, and Graham's good at a number of these events, and I think Graham actually better on a heavy set of stones. Ivers as well.
Ivers is excellent.
Ivers, excellent all-round lifter. I think this group, for me, is going to be between Graham, Brian Shaw, and Ivers.
Okay. Pick 2 to go through.
I hate saying this.
I know.
Because...
You're friends.
Yeah, I'm great friends. And I hope he proves me wrong. I really do. But I'm going to have to go with Brian Shaw winning the group and Ivers coming out in second place.
Yeah. So first off, we should have said, see, we needed ground rules and disclaimers. If you are an athlete competing at Worlds this year, go away. This video isn't for you. You guys should be
focusing on training.
On social media. Get off, please. Right? This is not for you. See, now that's your... And that's honestly, if I was to choose, that's probably what I would have chosen too. But science tells me something else. So I've actually, with my scoring, Ivers wins the group, which I never would have picked. But I mean,
well, look,
Ivers
is a great strongman. Yep.
But on these events, Ivers wins the group, Brian gets in on the stone off. And Brian is versus Graham.
Yeah, I mean, it's a possibility.
Anything is possible.
I think the problem for Maxime and Hicksy will be the fingers. Graham, as amazing as he is at pressing, don't know how well he will transition between different implements. I think if it was about maximum weight...
Are you talking about the overhead medley?
Yeah. If it was just a maximum log, for instance, I think Maxime and Graham cause Brian a lot of problems.
Yeah.
Brian on an overhead medley is awesome. There's not many guys in this competition that will beat him on something like that. He transitions well. He's extremely good on dumbbell. He's extremely good on axle. He's extremely good on the barbell. I think he'll blitz it, to be quite honest.
Interesting. I have him dropping quite a few points on loading, actually.
The loading's a weird one.
It's a frame into a loading race, isn't it?
I was saying off camera yesterday to Liz, if you look on my track record on loading at World's Strongest Man, I've probably placed everywhere from first to sixth.
Yeah, you have.
And it's just one of those events, especially with a frame to start with.
Yeah.
That makes it a bit different as well. If it's a heavy frame, I just can't see Brian placing that low on any event.
No.
I think he'll be professional. I've spoken to him. He feels in really good shape. And I'm a big critic of Brian. I have been in the last few years, but I do genuinely believe he's coming in to win this fifth title.
Why are you a big critic of Brian?
Well, I'm not a critic, I'm just honest.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that hunger in him in the last few years, whereas it actually looks like winning the Shaw Classic reignited that kind of hunger. And I think as hard as it's going to be, he's coming here with a real shot of winning World's Strongest Man. And Ivers just impresses the hell out of me. He's just a great, underrated, all-round strongman.
Tough group as well. Okay, then group 2 is a train pull and deadlift group. And in this group, we have Mark Felix, Johnny Hansen, Trey Mitchell, Evan Singleton, and Tom Strongman. What do you think happens in this group?
This
Don't
is
look at mine.
No, I can't even read yours from here. I have to, head and heart, I genuinely think Tom Stoltman wins this group. Which is tough because, look, Johnny Hansen is awesome. Hasn't done that well at World's Strongest Man. And that's why...
Hasn't been there for a while.
Hasn't been there for a couple of years as well. Obviously been making progress. He looks amazing when he competes in Sweden's Strongest Man. But World's Strongest Man is a different show.
Of course. Different
equipment, different format completely. Mm-hmm. And I think this group is going to be a battle between Evan, Trey Mitchell, and Tom. I love Evan. And I think if he wants to get through, I said this in our other video, I think he needs to win the group. Mm-hmm. I don't think he can beat Tom with these events. Tom is very, very good at the medley, the overhead medley. Tom's deadlift, I would say, is better than Evan's. Tom's truck pull should be very, very good, being the size that he is. He's very good at loading. How many people beat Tom on the loading? Not many. There's no weakness there. That could be anyone's. The pickaxe is a difficult one to kind of
really... It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, because you can think the guy with the strongest shoulders in terms of like a blog press should be amazing. And sometimes they're not.
No.
You know, Mark Felix is actually really good at a front hold. So, and he's great at deadlifting too. But I think it'll come down. I think Tom wins. I think Trey Mitchell gets through on the stones.
So by my calculations, Evan wins the group and Tom gets through on stones. So,
and you know, I'd be absolutely over the moon to see Evan into the final.
So doing this actually made me quite sad because,
why?
Well, you see how the group's laid out and you start looking at it and you think, oh no, so many good guys aren't going to make the final. And I know that's kind of the point, they eliminate people, but more than ever, it's made me really wistful for a World's Strongest Man where it is just every guy doing the same event and one massive like 10 event competition.
It's weird because if you took away the groups but still had the 25 guys there going through, say, 10 events each, it would change the results. The groups do throw up surprises, and you know, I guess the TV like that because you got to remember the people.
Do the fans like it?
Well, this is the thing, okay? The hardcore fans, us, people watching this, you know, people watching the kind of, you know, people following the sport weekly. Yeah. We are a small minority at the moment. We need to keep growing the sport. People that just watch at Christmas time in the UK, a lot of people, they don't follow the sport like some people do, and they just think World's Strongest Man is it. They don't always know that there's a whole list of other shows that go on around the world.
So you're saying they probably don't care?
Yeah, you know.
Right. So if they don't care, but we do care, why not make us happy? Like, why are they, you know, pandering to a TV audience? Because
the TV audience is what they get their money from at the moment.
Surely there must be a way to make it work. I know it's like all about 45-minute TV shows and everything, but CrossFit make it work, and they're a bigger sport than Strongman now.
Yeah, you know, hey, I've been saying for a long time I want to ban the groups.
I know, ban them.
I do. I want to get rid of the groups and have 25 guys go head to head over more events.
Yeah.
You've still got. I mean, this year you've got 12 events at World's Strongest Man.
Maybe they could just make the final bigger, like a compromise. Maybe 3 from each group. That would, you know, that would be nice. 15 guys.
It would be interesting because, like I say, I know you will get bored of hearing it. Events make a difference. So you could have someone go to World's Strongest Man. They could be in Group 1. They could have a terrible set of events, not make the final. But that same person in the final could have smashed it.
Yeah.
You know, and you see this a lot.
Yeah.
It's why you have to give credit to the guys that are so good and so well-rounded.
And that have won so many times.
Consistently win in various different contests around the world. That's why those guys are seen as such greats. But, you know, Hicksy's a great example of this.
Yeah.
With certain events, that guy's unbelievable.
Yeah.
But he has some weaknesses as well. And probably put 90% of Strongman in that kind of category. And that's why we then have to look at the events, look who's in the groups, and it becomes a lot more tricky.
A lot more stressful.
It does become stressful. Anyway, let's get on to Group 3.
Sorry, Group 3. We digress. Okay, so in Group 3 we have JF Caron, Ethor Ingolfsson, Robert Oberst, Luke Richardson, and Mikhail Shivakov.
And this is a deadlift or squat group?
This is a squat and truck pull group.
So with this being a squat and truck pull group, it's an easier pick for me, this group. I'm convinced we're going to see JF Caron and Luke Richardson coming through the group.
Yeah, I have that. I actually have Luke winning this group with these events and JF getting through on the stone off.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think they're both great stone lifters. As good as Shivakov is in a lot of one-day shows, he never really performs that well.
It's not his competition as at Worlds.
Ethor is improving. Last time I was very impressed with him when I saw him compete. Definitely making good progress. Robert has some good events in this heat. I just don't think Robert is going to challenge Luke or JF. No, I just think I think if he ends up in a stone off with either of them, I think the other one wins the stone off. But to be honest, based on my calculations and the science, I actually have JF in the stone off with Ethor. Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting pick there.
There you go.
Okay, so we're both agreed on that one pretty much.
Yeah, we agree.
Very nice. Let's move on to group number 4. So going from what we think is an easier pick to one of the groups I think could be one of the hardest to pick. Group number 4, absolutely stacked. Tell us the athletes and events.
In this group, we have Adam Bishop, Terry Hollands, Konstantin Janasha, Jerry Pritchard, and Chris van der Linde. And it is a deadlift and fingers finger group.
Well, sorry. Well, this group is very difficult to pick. I am going to go out and pick Jerry to win the group. I was extremely impressed with Jerry last year. I think the lack of competitions for him recently have been a good thing. And the motivation of having Bubba involved in Strongman, his son, that's great motivation for a dad.
Yeah.
Your son wants to do Strongman. He did his first competition recently as well.
Against teenagers.
Yeah, against kids much older than him.
Yeah.
And Jerry just looks like he's enjoying it.
Yeah.
He looks hungry. He looks, the passion's there still. And that's a big thing, when you see like older athletes, if they're still passionate and they're still working hard, I cannot bet against Jerry in this group.
If he comes in the same shape as last year, I agree. Jerry wins the group.
Now, the next person to get through is really difficult. You've got two brilliant, amazing friends, Adam and Terry. They just, I don't know if you saw, Adam posted on his Instagram page when they both knew they were in the same group. So it's them smiling, and then with a hand behind their back, they both got a knife. I thought it was quite funny.
They are genuinely good friends and training partners, aren't they?
They've been training really hard for this. Yeah, they are good friends. Yeah. And it is always tough. I mean, you're used to competing against your friends, but
the group it's quite an intense time, isn't it?
It is. And I think with the way things have been the last year, where people aren't really socialising stuff, they've sort of had a little bubble to train together. So there is that kind of connection between them. Yeah. And then you've got the return of Konstantin Janasha, which is really going to make this group very interesting.
Yeah. So go on. Do you want to pick your second person, or do you want me to go first?
Well, this is I've been stressing out about this one because
I can see you're sweating.
I know. I think this is going to be a very tight group.
Yeah.
I think Janasha, Terry, and Bish are all going to be extremely close. Terry, he knows how to make the final. I mean, he's had 9 World's Strongest Man finalists.
Yeah.
You don't do that by fluke.
No.
Right. He's a great strongman. He's coming in focused. I think he's going to be a real handful for all the guys in this group. Bish, you'd say, is the man in form. Obviously made the final last year, but he made it hard to get to the final. Although when he was in the final, he performed a lot better. And this is one tough thing about Worlds. When you've got those groups, it's different competition almost.
Come on.
And Janasha coming back. Janasha's the one. Janasha at top shape is hell of a strongman.
Yeah.
It's just, is he back to his best? That's the only... He could well be. But I'm going to go with Bish. I think Bish is gonna get to the final again. But honestly, any one of those 4 wouldn't surprise me if they made the final.
So I actually have Jerry winning the group and Terry and Adam in the stone off.
Wow.
And
who
then
wins out of them?
Then I had a real problem, because I think naturally Terry is better at stones. I think he's a bit better built for it. He's had some in the past. He's had some great results on stones. But then I was like, I just don't know. It's a very heavy stone for reps. I think Adam pushes that bit harder, and I think Adam gets through on the stone off.
It would be a battle between those two for sure.
I think with the fingers and everything and the overhead medley, I think Janasha's protecting his tricep a little bit with that injury. I don't know enough about Chris van der Linde to say either way, so apologies, although you shouldn't be watching.
One thing I will say, Worlds is a tough competition if you've never done it before.
Yeah.
So it's very rare you see someone completely new come and dominate the first World's Strongest Man.
I think people underperform slightly at Worlds the first time.
It's just something, unless you've been there, you're just not used to the format. It's very, very different.
And it's not even just the format, it's the stop-start nature of it all. It's like, right, we're ready for you now. Up you go. Oh, wait. We need to send the drone up.
There's just so many things
hold on.
That throw people off. So normally I go with the more experienced guys that have competed there. Just being there once makes a big difference. And I said that about Luke Richardson last year. I think having the experience that he's had from last year will help him this year.
Absolutely, I agree.
And you saw it with even Novikov, as kind of, his first year. He didn't struggle, but he was so much better than the second year. Yeah. And on to Group 5.
So this Group 5, this is the heartbreak group for me, because I look at it and I want all of these guys to be in the final. And I know we have to have the eliminators, apparently. Oh man, it's hard. I mean, I've got my results, but I don't even want to say them because it hurts me.
Did you have different results before you went through your little scientific kind of approach?
Yeah, absolutely. If I was to say 2 names, I'd say it would be completely different to what I've come up with.
So shall we tell everyone our predictions for this group? Let's tell everyone the events for this group first.
Yeah, sorry, I get carried away. So this is a deadlift and fingers finger group.
Interesting.
Yes. Poor Luke Stoltman, because he's had a really rough ride of it now, I feel, for this year and last year. He's been in a really stacked group with not the best set of events for him. I mean, if he was to choose between squat and deadlift, he'd choose squat all day. I just, the overhead is never really the overhead that suits him best. I just think, he's had a bit of a shit time of it, to be honest, at Worlds. And you know how much we all love Luke. All right, I'm just going to go for it and rip it off. So I've got...
Come on,
I take it far too seriously. I've got Alexei winning the group. And some people are like, oh, I don't think he'll make it out of the group. And I think that's madness. They must be watching a different Alexei. I know people are saying about a bit of an injury and stuff like that, but no. To me, everyone's turning up in shape and Alexei wins the group. Then I've got, and this pains me to say, I've got Kevin and Bobby in the stone off and not Luke. But it's literally like fractions of points separating them that keeps him out of the stone off. And then I have Kevin win the stone off and make the final.
Wow.
Now, if I was to just sit here and choose 2 names, that's not what I would have said at all. I'd have been like, yeah, my boy Luke. Or, Bobby Thompson's definitely doing it. But I can't see Alexei not.
It's a really tough group. And like we've said, events in the final could be completely different. Mm-hmm. It does always come down to events. I can't bet against Alexei not winning the group. The guy, people saying some of these things cracks me up sometimes. The guy's incredible. Yeah, and he's got better and better over the last kind of couple of years. He is a genuine contender to win the title, and he's an extremely consistent performer. Mm-hmm. There's lots of guys that are great in certain shows and they go up and down. Alexei is in that kind of category where he's always good. I understand, he's had a lot of personal issues going on, but he's the kind of person that just kind of
he'll use it
as fire and comes even better.
Yeah,
he's very focused, very determined to come back and win and prove that last year wasn't a fluke. So I cannot see him not winning the group.
No.
The next place is going to be very tough. You've got some incredible strongmen in this group.
Yeah. I mean, Gav Bilton as well. I didn't even mention Gav.
Gav just won UK Strongest Man. He's got certain events he can really push some of these guys in.
And steal some points.
I don't think Gav is quite ready to get to the final.
Not in this bloody group. But
he could prove me wrong, but I still think he needs one more year. Just watching the UKs, there's just certain weaknesses there still. And Gav, I hope you prove me wrong, buddy. I really do.
Yeah.
But I am going to pick Luke. I'm going to pick Luke to get into that top 3.
We'll still be on the Christmas card list.
I will be. You won't be.
Too lost.
The reason I'm going to pick Luke is I think Luke is the best stone lifter in this group.
Do you know what? I was about to propose another scenario where Alexei doesn't win the group. Bobby wins the group. Or Kevin wins the group. Luke's in the stone off. Luke goes through. I do believe if Luke can get in the stone off, he'll go through. But I just think this is an almost stupidly hard group to even get into the stone off with.
Every group's tough. And I think, people, personalities and things like that, you kind of get drawn in. But when I focus on who's won, who's kind of won contests, who's made the final before, Bobby is an incredible log lifter. Bobby is an incredible deadlifter. He still has weaknesses. His stones haven't been the best in the last few contests that I've seen him, which, unless he wins the group, is going to be an issue. Kevin is very impressive all round.
Incredible, especially when you consider he's still one of the smaller athletes there. He's very good.
I think it's going to be a real battle between the three guys to get that second and third.
Yeah.
And I'm picking Luke.
Your boy. I hope you're right, to be honest, because I love Luke, and we all want to see him do well in the final, especially after last year. It was a real disappointment. So I want you to be right, but the science won't allow me to pick Luke. The formula forbids it.
I think every group is going to be exciting.
Yeah.
They are tough groups. There is no weak links at World's Strongest Man anymore. Every group is tough. Like we said, we like to skip the groups and just put everyone into a final, but that can't be done. So we've given you our predictions.
We're not doing the final predictions today, are we? Because we want to wait until we actually know who's in the final and then really overanalyze that instead.
Guys, let us know who you think is in the final, or who you think is going to get through each group. We can come back after and discuss and see who was right out of me and Liz, and see who was right out of you guys. We were pretty similar there. There wasn't too many differences.
No, there wasn't. No,
only one or two. So that's good to know. We'll have more battles when it comes to the final. Guys, make sure you comment below. Please remember to like, share and subscribe to the channel, and you can also go and follow us on Instagram. The links are in the description below. Take it easy. We'll catch you soon. While you're here, guys, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of my awesome strength content.